Morning, guys. On the way to Statesville to AJ Rentals, we have a mini excavator reserved for this morning. Environmental health is going to be out, and we're going to try to figure out what kind of dirt we got and what kind of septic system we're going to need to put in. So it's my first time running a mini. Should be a lot of fun today. I'm really looking forward to it, both for one, just to run the equipment, and for two, I get to pull something with my pickup, so that's always a cool thing. So stay tuned. The learning curve is going to be pretty steep this morning, but we're going to have a lot of fun doing it, and I'll check in with you once we get the equipment picked up. Oh, buddy. We're going to speed things up a little bit here. I ended up digging 7 holes. The holes had to be 48 inches deep. There was one hole where we hit some pretty hard dirt, and I couldn't. This machine just didn't have enough power to get past about 2 feet. And that test hole I'll show later in the video, but it ended up failing the health department's standard for a septic system drain field. So all the other holes, the other 6 holes, I was able to get 4 feet. Once you get to about 3.5, the digging becomes a little bit more difficult just because of the soil texture with the rock and the hard clay. And this had been driven over, so when they logged it, so some of the areas were compacted pretty well. So the unit did pretty good job, I thought. Ended up with about 4 hours worth of work, including to and from, picking it up, dropping it off, which was about 20 minutes each way. So, and I've never done this before. So after I dug that first hole, you kind of get the feel for it, and the subsequent holes went pretty quick. But it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it, and it was a challenge, and I learned a lot. I learned a lot about dirt. So that's again one of the benefits to doing your own build. You get to take in all the information and learn from it. So now I can pass that on to you guys. So hopefully someone else can get some use out of my experience. But well worth the fun, well worth the money. I think we ended up with like $250. So. Okay guys, just finished up with the health department. Very good news for us, which I'm super excited about. We are going to be able to put in a conventional system, which is what we were shooting for and hoping for. So what I want to do now is just kind of show you guys what the health department, environmental health, told me. So when you're looking at your property, digging holes or in your due diligence period or what have you, you can kind of get an idea of what you're looking for. The big thing in North Carolina is saprolite, which is basically decomposing rock. And see if I can find some here. This hole, I don't believe. Yeah, it's this stuff right here. This is decomposing rock, and they call it saprolite. And it is super hard to dig. It's very it crumbles. You can see it crumbles in your hand, but when you're digging it with your backhoe or your excavator, it's you can tell when you hit the layer of this stuff because it becomes very hard, and it goes from a red color to a like a stone color or like a yellow color. And you can kind of see, maybe, I don't know if the sun is going to allow me to show you, but you can kind of see on the very bottom there is some like yellowish dirt. That is the stuff that is not good. So, and there's actually some black, you probably can't see it, but there's some black mixed in there as well. That is all bad stuff, and at some point you're going to hit it. The question is when, because you need to have so much soil underneath your drain field tile for the water to leach away, and it will not leach away with that stuff. So that's your limiting factor. So most of our holes came back good. We had a couple that tested bad. See if I can get a good shot. There is some black in some of the yellow stuff, and you can kind of see some of the saprolite. There's one that's kind of sticking out right here. That's actually a rock. That's not saprolite. But now you can get an idea. There's the yellow stuff. So he dropped his tape measure down to that, and like for this hole, it was down there pretty far, so we had like 30 some, almost 40 inches of good soil, which is good. But some of the bad holes, the two that tested that was a no-go, I'll show you those. The worst one, which is down the slope here, is right here. And it was so hard, I couldn't even get 2 feet down. And I hit a bunch of the saprolite, and you can kind of see, I mean, it looks like stone, but it is dirt. It is decomposing rock, and it is very hard to dig. So if you're going to do your own test holes, I highly recommend getting at least the middle size excavator, because the small, like the 2,600 pound excavator will not, this ground's too hard for that. You're gonna have a heck of a time. The unit I had was a 4,000 pound unit, and little bit digging just because the clay was so hard, but that's the minimum that I would do if I was gonna give somebody advice on it. Here you can see the black all along the bottom right there. That's all super hard dirt. I mean, it's like hard as rock, and I only had like 18 inches of good dirt above it, so that's not enough to put the drain pipe in and for the water to leach down. So at least for a conventional system, you can get specialized systems, but you know, then again, I think I'd mentioned that in an earlier video. Those are super expensive. You're up to like $25, $30, sometimes $40,000 to put those in. So we wanted to stay away from those if at all possible. So the other plus is if you can find, and I don't know if you guys can see it, but the land slopes away from the house. So we're coming down a nice gentle grade down to here. That will allow you to get away with less dirt, because in a flat area, the water is draining straight down. Well, on a sloped area, you're looking at the angled path of the dirt, which in theory is allows you to get by with less dirt because the water is flowing at an angle, you know, in accordance with the slope. So that again was a benefit for us and allowed us to get the conventional system. So I'm hoping with all of this, we're going to be looking at less than $10,000 to have the system put in. The other factors that go along with that is bedrooms. We're doing a 3-bedroom home. Garbage disposal is the other kicker. That doesn't increase your drain field, but it does increase your septic tank by 500 gallons. And again, all these numbers are Alexander County. Your county may be different. But we're going to do a garbage disposal, so our septic tank has to be a 1,500 gallon tank, and with this conventional system we have to have basically 400 feet of drain line. So you have to have that, and then you have to have enough room for a backup system. So that is all going to go in this area right here. And this area cannot be graded. I can't dig the stumps out. I can't do any earth moving here because that'll void the permit. So this is going to be off limits for any kind of work. The stumps, we'll just have to burn those out, and I'll get a video of that whole process when we get to it. The other thing we have to do is to get accurate mapping for where the drain field has to go exactly, and so my installer knows where they need to go. You have to put 2 hubs in, and right here is one of them, so he can get accurate measurements on where the lines have to go. So hub number 1, which I'm going to tomorrow, I have to get some iron fence posts and put those in the ground there in some concrete to mark it. So that'll be tomorrow's project. So that's one, and then the other one is over here on the other side. So I'm going to have 2 hubs where he can get measurements off of and get contour lines off of, and the environmental health gentleman will draw up my plot for me, and that will go to the installer. And since you have to be licensed to install the septic system, I won't be doing that. So here's the other markers, and there'll be an iron post here set in concrete to mark that spot, and those can't move. They have to stay there for the measurements until the house is up. Once the house is up, those can go away. So that's pretty much it for today. Very happy with the outcome, and the environmental health gentleman was super helpful, very informative, and hey, I got to run an excavator for the day, and I had a blast doing it. And that's part of the reason why I wanted to build my own house, is because it's a lot of fun, and you can do it too. So I hope the video helps at least someone out there that's looking at doing a project like this on their own. And drop your comments below if you have any. I'll try to answer any questions. I'm not an expert by any means, but I'll do my best. And if you haven't done so already, hit the subscribe button and the notifications. And I am going to get on the Mahindra and fill in these holes. So we'll talk to you guys next time. Thanks for watching.